We will be going through the reports of what has been happening. Yes, Nigeria is deciding today, February 25th, who will govern us at the level of the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. Right now in the studio, I have with me an INEC observer in the person of Razak Olokwoba. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
All right. I know you've been out all day just like myself. So just tell me what's been happening on the streets of Lagos right now.
Well, it's a thing of delight that the picture seems different a bit from what we used to witness in the past. Apathy is gradually disappearing.
Ooh, that's good.
From what we gather across the country as well, from our network, we also have information that people are also trooping out to vote. Now people have realized the umbilical cord that tied our fate to our ballot paper, our PVC. So it's a good thing, and the usual setback we normally witness, which is not deliberate, is ballot paper not getting here on time, sign the convention on time. That's normal. Anything that has to do with exercise like this, particularly if it's not done every day, it's a one-off thing. And another 4 years, things have changed. Location of voting has been altered. It's expected. Once we have recognized that the intention of the officials' response to is not malicious, it's not in the line of carrying out a duty. It's not an error-free process. So it's a good to go, and already in some places they have completed the exercise. Some people are just started. Some people just started about an hour ago. So we should bear in mind that in your intro you said important day for Nigeria. We should bear in mind that a day like this is important to us. Someone who is going to be our president in the next 4 years must sufficiently protect that election. That's why some of us are out, to ensure that we play our role as civil society, make sure that people's right to vote are respected, and the security officers also follow universal standard in matters of this nature. They did well. They did well too. Our political parties are also, there are challenges with political parties. Some areas you see some political parties who don't have their picture on their tag. You see some people, as a result of logistics, they don't have identification paper. Some led to disagreement. Some overlook it because you are going to vote by beavers. So you like it or not, you can't do anything about it. Someone who has voted, and it's been recorded. So unlike before, where you thought it can be manipulated, this time around it can manipulate. So that has reduced tremendously fracas, violence, disagreement, and fighting. So from reports I've gotten, things are moving very fine. Before the day runs out, we should be having a clearer picture of where we are going. Okay,
the BVAS there, the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System now. Let's talk about that, because that is something that was experienced, we experimented rather, first in Anambra State, then in Osun State, now Ekiti. Now we are having the general elections, and nationwide we are making use of the BVAS. So far, how effective would you say it has been? Like someone like me, 4 years ago, I said it right here when I came on, I was disenfranchised because the card reader couldn't, read my biometric. But this time around, the BVAS couldn't read my thumbprint, but fortunately, it's an improved technology where I voted. So the facial recognition, made it possible for me to be able to vote. And so far, all the polling units I visited, well, it's been working and working fine. What was the experience about the BVAS?
There's no how we will not embrace BVAS the way we have embraced it in Nigeria. Whatever our fear is, we have to cast it away. And the natural and sincere challenge, fears people have is that will they be able to work? Charging issue, that's how do we rely, or what kind of power will we rely on? Will they have generator at the polling unit? Is there electricity? So is it battery? Those are, and it's been sorting out one after the other. Things of that nature cannot do without their own challenges. We'll keep improving it. If you look at ATM, before it's just your bank. Later, they get interconnectivity with other banks. Now you can use your ATM anywhere in the world. So you keep improving on it, you keep improving until you get to the point that we are today. You have cars before that is manual, and now it's automatic. Even our wristwatch before doesn't is automatic. So let's do the needful. And the needful is not to go out with the mindset that anything that comes out of government and its apparatus is not good. That's not to build a nation. The way to build your nation is to genuinely, objectively look at where they suffer deficiency. And those deficiencies, all of us are responsible for tackling it. So where they have challenges on this kind of, on the beavers, we must have the patience today to ensure that whatever the challenges, I will be patient and I will vote. Don't have a mindset that when it's my turn, why is that I can't recognize? The thing cannot recognize me. Why is not picking up my fingerprint? Why? So this why must turn to understanding. It's a setback. We have to turn it to victory. So, and these elections, like an election and the fight for independence, we are so politically conscious. Look at the number of people that were registered, over 100 million. So it's like a freedom. So once we are able to scale through it, it's Eldorado. We need to move on. 7th most populated country in the world. And that's why there are elections in Europe that is not attracting so much attention that Nigeria. In Europe. But in Nigerian election, is it because of what? It's not the love they have for you. They are looking at 200 million people. Don't disrupt the world with 250 million people. So be peaceful, and they know very well that once your democracy is protected, once your democracy keep thriving, once your democracy keep germinating, that country will continue to grow. Well, that's why you see the arrays of international organizations coming to Nigeria to support us. That the IRA, you see it, all of them are coming to say this election must be peaceful. It's not for the love of you, it's for the love of the rest of the world. You see Cotonou saying that election was hold, assisting you when it comes to security challenges. They can't imagine a Nigeria with humanitarian crisis. Africa is gone, and it's going to also affect the rest of the world. So the best way to sustain a nation, to keep the nation moving, is when you keep having your democracy, your people keep voting, leaders keep coming in, going out. You might disagree with the leader. If you disagree, you go. If you like him, you praise him. You put someone that is close to him there again. So you keep doing all this kind of things. So for me, we are getting it right, and it should be a consideration for every Nigerian that this kind of thing is happening at their lifetime. Let's continue to do whatever is going to. I'm going out again because we are going to write our report. We are beginning to collect the report all over the country now. We see what we can do. And my happiest thing is that the security agents are genuinely, because when people plot you against each other, before the security agents don't like like the temperament or the suspicion. There's a suspicion constantly in the mind of security agent that the people don't like police, the people don't like army, until they see that people also have a mindset towards you. It's not because they don't like you; they have a mindset. So they now the security agent begin to understand that okay, it has to begin with me. I must demonstrate a level of truly a friend of the people. Civil defense, police, army, the friend of the people, SSS, the friend of the people. That is what people recognize, and then I'm confident. And it's beginning to happen. We're finding our way back to each other now as a security. So they are doing very well. I've not seen any area, I've not had any report of any molestation by any security agent. That's sitting calmly. When I went to just down there in Akidembe, they were frack, and the civil defense agent came there, and they just did some and peace reigned. And that's the case all over the world too. And that's a good thing. Then the political parties have also realized that it is late to be talking about if I don't win, I will scatter that. They know it's late. So people rely on their manifesto now. The extent of what I've been able to tell the people of what I will do, the extent of my track record, the extent of the things I have done is what the political parties have relied on now. And that is what is bringing the people out to vote. So, you know, who do you want to blackmail now this money? Who? Which party do you want to say spend money? And where is the money?
Where is the money?
So you can't blackmail anybody. The number of people that are outside now is so tremendous that I've not seen it before. Maybe the days of Edeko, when Shagaria and
Or probably 1993.
1990. Yes, Shagari, then 1993.
Yes.
So that's the kind of picture that came to my mind now. And there's no money. So which means that all of us that are out today, we are out because of the love we have for Nigeria, the love we have for our candidates, and the love we have for our intention to have good governance at the end of when we emerges.
All right. Early in the early hours of today, I was also on the street of Lagos to see what was going on and to see how people are adhering to the rules and regulations of elections, how people are comporting themselves, and to see what is happening on the streets of Lagos, on highways. And my guest talked about the security personnel that were very, very civil. I also witnessed that this morning. I don't know if my director is ready with the report. Let's just have some of the reports to see what is going on or what has been going on the streets of Lagos today. Continue. But I will need one, and I'm somewhere also still in Papa Jao. This is Sadiku Street precisely. This is polling unit 007. This polling unit 007 Ward B. So I was taking my reports, and I saw that there was a little bit of chaos here. Although as of now they have settled, and I think they are continuing with the process. Now, what I was made to understand is that somebody came in, he voted. While he was voting, he used his phone to take the pictures and all of that. And the people around, challenged him that he did what was wrong. Now, their challenge here is that they are saying that there are no security personnel here to help them, to assist them, just in case somebody wants to violate the election process order. That is what they are complaining here, that they need the presence of security here, that some people are trying to violate the election process orders, because that has actually happened. I don't know if somebody to talk about what happened. Okay. So what's your name?
My name is Sadebeni.
Okay.
When he came, I went to vote. But the particular guy that came first, he was not on the queue. He just moved to the front. The people on the end were, the person want to come up like an argument. Then the particular guy was not happy. He should go out. But to calm the situation, they are arguing. Then later, when the other guys can't vote, he went there, taking their photograph. And I got the attention of the INEC official that it shouldn't be. They tried stopping him, but he refused. Then I picked up my phone, I made a call. Then the next day he went to his car. He said he's going to deal with me, and he took my photograph. And I told him I don't care. We should do the right thing.
That is the situation here on Sadiku Street. On Sadiku Street. Please, the attention of security personnel, they are needed here. Thank you very much. My name is Yunkaken.
I see everything is going on. I want to believe that the grace of God we are more successful without violence. So that's what I can say.
Everything is going on. I think the agents they are trying to cooperate. But things is not going right here. They are not doing things I supposed to do. They are not doing things. When I mean they are not doing things I supposed to be, it means maybe directing people, as in forcing people out to vote, agitating for them to do what they don't want to do. As you can see, like you taking your mom to go and vote and your younger sister is following you. I think that is not right. That is what I want to say.
The house, I have come to vote. Exercise my rights, but it's just unfortunate that our party logo is not found on the House of Representatives and the senatorial candidate, which is unacceptable. So I'm urging that INEC should try to do something to rectify the issue,
Because as of now, we don't even have anything to do again. But rather than take it to tribunal for the court to decide. After all the preparation and getting to the election date, we find out that our logo is not on the ballot paper. It's just unacceptable.
So welcome back. So much to say on the streets today. What would you say about that? You know, we saw some people saying that despite all the voter education that people should not go into the polling units with cameras and all phones and all of that, we still find that, you know, some people still defile that and still went ahead to do what is not.
Well, there's nothing that does not have extremism. Followership also have extremism. If you look at John Lennon and the Beatles, someone shot one of them and said that he has discovered that there's one of the fans loved him more than him. So that was why he shot him. That's part of extremism. To prove to your candidates that I am for you, I can even show you evidence that I voted for you. That's extremism. Because you don't need to prove yourself to anybody that you are supporting them. All you need to know is that you are convinced that the candidate you have voted for is going to do Nigeria a lot of good. And like I said, that the security agents did very well. Those are things that lead to escalations. Because the moment you do that kind of thing, security agents will want to take the cause to law. And definitely you have other people that are supporting them. So they will escalate it. So the maturity and the civilized manner that the security are conducting themselves is amazing and it's very commendable. Well, I want to tell Nigerians once again that this election is a waste of time to think that you can use any method to score to it. Probably maybe because you think your candidate is not popular somewhere, or probably maybe you think whatever the reason is, one wins the election in Nigeria to henceforth now is the capacity of your candidate to convince all Nigerians that it's coming to do us any good. A time is coming that is even thinking that some people are even thinking that maybe if you stop the election, things might happen. We are coming to a point where you can even vote at home.
Yes.
Where you can even vote at home, and that is what is called evolving democracy. There were times when it is not like that. It's so, I can't say primitive or backward. It's so easy to tamper with that. You have to kill, you have to do all sorts of things. But we will keep improving on it until we get to that point. And that is part of the reason that brings democracy up. When you secure your democracy, when you discover, when you build a very high fence around the democracy that you cannot tamper with, you will not have excuse as a leader than to perform. Because you know that in the next election, it's not going to be about money. It's not going to be about Malako Dibo. It's not going to be 10,000. No, it's not going to be about. It's going to be about programs. Your manifesto. What can you do for the people? And I am happy that we are getting there. When we say our democracy is evolving, it's developing. It is a consolation now to see that it is truly evolving and it's truly developing.
Yes, truly evolving and developing. Now, while you were on the streets today, because I got to some places that we realized that the INEC officials were not there. You know, how would you say the arrival of the INEC officials on the average? How was it today?
That's an area that INEC has to do something about.
Okay. Because
we cannot keep talking about movement of logistic issues every 4 years. And why you see other agencies developing and progressing, you can't give us, either INEC has done very well, but in that area, that's the area they need to do something about. I know it is pretty difficult for INEC to buy all the vehicles that will be needed for the nation, but the kind of people you have to be in alliance with, be in partnership with, that will give you the vehicle in terms of how to carry all your materials voting. They need to sort it out. We can't continue to have this kind of issue again. If it is the NRCW, maybe 2 years or 1.5, that's 18 months. You need to do shadow election, observer, shadow election, monitoring, shadow election, voting, shadow election. What I mean by shadow is that a rehearsal, so that an officer, an ad hoc officer that you are employing, should not be going to practice what will change him for the first time on the election day. He should have practiced it. You watch the video now.
But we did. I think INEC did some 2 or 3 weeks ago. INEC did some mock accreditation in 3. I think in Lagos State, I know there were in 3 locations, and would you say that was not effective?
That's what has even helped. That is even a reflection of why we have this peaceful election. Why we have the errors are not so much. That's the reason. And my own point is that we don't have to do it once in 4 years. It has to be continuous. It should be part of your budget. When you see the army going into some areas in Nigeria where you have gunshot, but it's a rehearsal. It's only when Chicago is ready to take over Nigeria to go into the war front for the force. It's the same thing, police. Even if you look at the census that's going to say mock census. It's not the real census. It's just to do a rehearsal of, if you want to do the real thing, what are the challenges you are going to face, so that you will be able to address it before that day. It is actually impossible to expect that you won't have any challenge on the election day. It is not possible, but it should be minimal. And I am happy that for this election, it's going to be so minimal that it will be disregardable.
All right, talking about being minimal and disregardable, I went somewhere in Mushin today, Idioro axis, and usually we tend to want to believe that those axes are so volatile, and those axes. But you see, I was so surprised, at the warm reception that I got, in that area. Immediately I moved into. There's this part, the popular place called Akala. Akala.
Yeah.
The reception was warm, everything was warm, and I did 1 or 2 interviews. I don't know if my director is there with the video. We can see just an overview of what's happened in Idioro axis this morning. So right now I'm somewhere still in Mushin, but I'm somewhere around Idioro. This particular place is called Imoru Street. Unfortunately, I ran into the local council development area chairman of Oji Olowo in the person of Honorable Razak Ajala. Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Very well.
Have you performed your civic right?
Of course, I've done that.
All right. Can you let the camera see? Okay, so tell us.
I just finished.
You just finished voting. So what happened at your voting center?
Of course, the election was
For now?
for now.
Because the time right now is 14 minutes after 10
The election
a.m.
is very peaceful for now. Of course, people are protesting, hanging themselves in line to the election. Of course, we can see that there's going to be a large turnout of people. This, to me, is the demonstration of their belief in the process being driven by INEC. INEC have done perfectly well. And that is the reason why a woman of 70-something years that is not literate, once you give her once you give her the voters paper, she will even ask. I was told that they have to take her.
Wow.
This to me is a combination of this to me is a combination that indeed INEC and other NGOs in this ward, we have 34 polling units, and given the result I've been getting, it's only 2 of the 34 units that is not working. Told the officer in charge, INEC officer in charge, to escalate it so that we can.
Of all the 34 units, only 2 of the beavers, the byproduct water and the air system, are not working. The attention of INEC has been drawn to that, and we want to believe that action will be taken. That is 5 minutes to 12 p.m. and right somewhere in Alausa, right in front of Royal Estate. And we may understand that this is polling unit 112, and up until now nothing is happening here. You can see that people have been seated here waiting for the INEC officials. Until now they have not seen anybody till this moment. They have the tables here, all of them. So we employ the INEC officials that are supposed to cover this unit to please take it up upon themselves and come around to this place. That is what is going on here. Polling unit 112, Alausa. Thank you very much. My name is Rika Ken. So far, we can see, like I told you before we went on to show what was happening, that it's amazing to say that that axis of Lagos State is so peaceful, and they are casting their vote, and things are going on nicely, and even there's a warm reception even for myself as a reporter on that axis today. It's something worthy of mention. But right now I have on phone with me the Chief Press Secretary to the former Governor of Osun State, His Excellency Gboyega Oyetola. I have with me a CPS, the person of Ismail Omikbidon. I would like him to tell us what is happening, an overview of what is happening in Osun State right now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you.
All right. Can you please give us an overview of what's going on in Osun State?
Well, as I speak to you, I am in Ilaogun.
Okay.
Ilaogun is the local government of the first international chairman of the APC and former governor of Osun,
okay.
Chief B.C. Akade.
Yes.
And that was where I voted. But before coming to Ila, I was in Oshogbo, and I've spoken to my colleagues in Irabiji, where my principal voted. So far, so good. Things are moving on very peacefully and calmly. In Ila specifically, the PDP attempted harassing some of our supporters out of town yesterday. There were gunshots in some areas up to the early hours of this morning. But surprisingly, if you move around Ila today as I speak to you, you will be shocked if anyone had told you that such a thing happened, the previous night. People are moving about peacefully, and everyone, went about the voting exercise peacefully.
All right. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
All right. There we have it in Osun State. It seems people are ready to make their vote count this time around.
Yeah, there's a resolve that we must build our democracy. When we are fighting for democracy, we know the price we paid. So, if anything wants to tamper with it, all of us must rise. And one of it is when you don't have good elections. And that has happened so many times. So this time around, there's that resolve, because election time is a time when all those promises must come in a way that is consoling. That don't worry, your children will not have us to strike again. Don't worry, security situation is going to be sorted out. Our economy will improve. The teeming, unemployed youth in Nigeria will put behind also. And that's when Nigerians should be looking happy. So you go to a voting center in a joyous and happy mood. That's why you see the village square meeting. You see people coming in a regalia that looks as if it's a ceremony. That's what elections should be about. So eventually when you get there, you will have something to hold on to. All the people that came out to vote today came out with a decision that I have seen a good reason to vote for A, B, C, or D. That's what has inspired them. It's clear now, it is clearer, I'm getting more clear now to us now that voting in Nigeria is not essentially about money. It's essentially about, I want this my candidate to be
Exactly.
there. You look at the crowd at rallies, and you, okay, how much do we want to give to these people? Even if there's money.
How much are we going to?
More so, there's no money. So it's a good thing, it's a consolation. Every stakeholder that is involved in the election must continue what they do that gave us this result. The government must ensure that at all time, all stakeholders are provided with whatever they need.
All right, presently I have one of the INEC observer also. I think she's somewhere in the axis of Ifa Koijaye. On phone with me right now, I have Engineer Atinuke Owolabi. Good morning.
Oh, good afternoon, Nika.
Oh, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. So what's...
Sorry, it's already 1 p.m.
Yes, good afternoon.
So I think it's good afternoon.
So what's going on? What's going on in Ifa Koijaye right now?
Yeah, election is peaceful here. The only issue we have is that some polling units that are yet to be accredited, they were not accredited at 12 noon.
Okay.
But I guess it's coming up now. And we noticed that a lot of the beavers are not working. The officials, they declared they could not configure the beavers. So fortunately, we've been able to contact their technical partner, RATEC, which they've been going around now to make sure that they do it for them. And everywhere is peaceful, but just that the officials are complaining that, okay, no provision for the lunch, they're hungry, but we're trying to see what we can get for them, because we look at it that if we get them food so that it won't be as if we are buying them food.
Yes, over, all right.
We couldn't give them food, so we just got them soft drinks and gala. But we just noticed that some polling units at 11:30, the officials did not come on time.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way. Okay. We got to about 5 polling units. The officials didn't get there until like around 11:30 a.m. And when we got there too, we discovered that their beavers were not working, but we were able to call the attention of the technical partner, which they promised that they will get there. Some units to stay on till they got there to make sure that, okay, it's well configured. So far, so good. Apple sale, everything is going on smoothly now.
Okay.
And we're trying to appeal to people to come out.
All right. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And the efficiency rather of the response from INEC officials is something worthy of mention.
Yes, that's why when anybody wants to observe the rule or duty of INEC these days, it's done in an objective manner. Like I've said, I said INEC should try to improve on their logistics movement. You get my point now. They should try to have a proper arrangement with origin out to the transportation. If you want to outsource it, you have to keep doing more creation. You must pay for it. There should be, the election is so central. It's so central to any resources in the country. It is the most valuable resource, that's election. Because if you don't have good democracy, the gold we have will not be handled, will not be put to judicial suit. The oil we have will be not be, so any resources we have is based on good governance. And the road to good governance is when you have proper correct election, when your democracy is right. So if you vote enough money, any budget for INEC, it's not a waste. If you have to keep improving on it, keep improving. It's like your security of the nation. So, and like as I was saying when the call came in, that between any other thing and the democracy, running after our TV as a result of the CBN policy, any other thing. Me, I choose democracy. We can catch our TV any other day, but let our democracy be sustained. Let's keep our democracy alive. So, INEC needs more and more support to be able to carry out more of the things that will make their work.
All right. I have another INEC observer online with me, Dr. Dayo Kayode. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. It's my pleasure joining you this afternoon.
All right. All right. Where are you and what is the situation of things around where you are?
Currently, I'm at Apuli Junction, the corner place, Saruti, Charity Junction, Ward D, polling unit 008.
Okay.
And very impressive that the people there are very, very civil. Despite the late arrival of the INEC materials and the officials, they take coolly, saying that yes, they must to exercise their franchise because they have no other thing to do other than to ensure a better Nigeria.
Thank you so very much. So, where have you been today as an INEC observer, and what is the situation of things?
Yes, I have been to over 100 polling units today. Wow. And I have been seeing that figure in the people to exercise their franchise. And even where INEC officials were not around, they waited patiently. That look, whatever it is, we're going to give Nigeria the whole of this day, out of the 365 days in a year. If it is just today, they're going to sacrifice it. And along the line, the INEC officials, some of them at somewhere in Aberu, where they have pollution centers, they reduce leaving that place and they're going to go to their patients until they are being paid. I wouldn't know why that. Probably further investigation will be done on that to know why they should be doing that, and they're keeping people in the sun.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
That's another one, another angle to it. He's saying there's a particular place where there's a collision center that the INEC officials are refusing to move until they are being paid.
Well, the area we have to quickly know it so that we'll get across to the.
He said somewhere around Egbe.
There are so many situations like that. There are cases where political parties don't have pictures on their tag, chest tag, and they were understanding that it's BVA, it's Beavers. So we are not afraid, even if you don't have a tag, provided that we are going to witness the way people are going to vote, nobody's going to influence them. But in some areas, they asked the man to leave if you don't have a picture on your chest tag. They said, Kimberly, that's not a problem. You have to leave. It's not so. And I also intervene as an observer. If you don't have a proper means of identification, you are not supposed to represent your political parties. So we keep improving it, and once it is clearer to all of us that it's a waste of time to say that you are going to resolve the election, it's a waste, it's a complete waste of time. With what we have now on ground, you can't swap again. You can't swap the ballot paper meant for another area for the other again. It's not possible. It's not going to work. There are features in it that I can introduce that you must use the ballot paper for the specific location that it is meant for. So, by and large, all these type of things are the reports that will come up in what you are going to send back to INEC and send to other agencies that they need to improve on, because it's truly a reckoning decimal. And when you go get late to half of the polling unit, that is voting time wasted. And so it's not good for us to do that. So INEC should pay attention to it. Very soon, things might begin to roll, results may begin to ascertain properly. Even if we are going to announce it, INEC should brace up for it. Political parties should brace up for it. Security agents should also be on alert And for Nigerians also, we have to support all these apparatus, the police, the INEC, and every other. So the police must stand by them, and the people must stand by them. We must support them. We must ensure that they succeed, because their success is also our success. When they fail, it's going to have a repulsive effect on the fan. So we must not think about the idea of not failing. There were rumors our election will not hold. We are holding an election today. And someone will jack result will soon start coming out. And there will be this and that. It is not going to happen. We are going to vote. We are going to have a president. The result is going to come out. So let's embolden ourselves. The way next embolden, we have to embolden ourselves too. Our security agents are outside. They are outside working. If anybody breaks the law will take its course on it. If few people, because they are organized, they can't take our country from us. Let's be organized. Let's be united. Let us sustain and protect.
Okay, finally, because we have to wind down this segment of the special program of Nigerians deciding who governs them in the next 4 years. In a bid to prevent vote buying, the cashless policy was introduced by the CBN. With all that has been going on, would you say that on the average, what impact would you say this has had on the election?
Is it vote buying is more of a thing of the mind. It's not essentially the practical cash that is flowing. Because not only through vote that you can buy your vote. Coercion is part of it. When you perpetuate violence, you carry the vote of some people to your side. It's also vote buying. So, in a way, it's more a thing of the mind. And it has to do more of our resolve. Just wading more into the psychology of the voters, orientation, implication of putting wrong people in power. The death of democracy is not essentially when democracy is truncated by the army. It's essentially when democracy is mismanaged to the extent that all the indices of democracy is no longer present in your country. There is no rule of law. You can't have access to it. So, for us, in a way, it appears as if it has struggled. But it just created more challenges for the INEC because people are hungry, people cannot move. You cannot combine a major economic policy with a major political program. You can catch your thief any day. You must not tie the fight with corruption, which I will not employ the young people again because young people, the majority of them are not serious. They are lazy people. No, they find a way to catch your own thief. And don't use election time to catch thief. So it hampers on the election. And I hope whoever that's going to emerge as the president of Nigeria will not commit this kind of error again. It's just because Nigerians are ready to vote. It will have developed into a terrible, of unimaginable magnitude of protest. But thank God, we have taken our resolve because these are the people that we are the people that are supposed to go and protest. But me, I love my democracy. I know the sacrifice I paid to send the army bus back to the barrack. There were gunshots. There were, if I close my right eyes, my left eye cannot see properly. Those are a result of violence from election, of democracy. You know, the army days. Those were moments for me. So I know I can't imagine going back to those days where we were talking about how do we entrench our democracy. I don't want it to happen again. So don't let us toy with our democracy again. Don't let us risk our democracy again. Voting is a political program. SWAP is an economic program. You are not supposed to combine a major economic and political program that are so sensitive together. It's biting hard on the people, and it should not happen again. Whoever that is coming on board again should not take this kind of risk again. It's a risk. But thank God, we are locomoting and moving around it. We are going to put it behind us. Catching TV is important, but your democracy is more important than that.
All right, thank you so very much. He has said it all. He said, well, although the policy is nice, it's good, it's important, but it shouldn't collide with the democracy of Nigeria. Thank you so very much, Razak Olukoba, for being here, taking our time to come talk to us today. So far, so good. We can see that the election is going on well. Until now, there are still no reports of violence and the little hiccups that we get here and there are being tackled with, and so far so good. We realize that till now, INEC officials, they are being so efficient in carrying out their duty and responsibility. And also, we can also say that till now, Nigerians are being civil also. They are trying, where there are misunderstandings, they are trying to calm down and correct it in the right way. There has been no violence, there has been no aggressiveness, and everybody is compliant even to the rules and orders of election. Yes, Nigerians decide 2023. That's the program on MITV. We go on, this is where we call it, we draw the curtain on this segment, but then we'll still continue with the show later on. Don't go anywhere, stay with us on MITV. My name is Yinka Kenny.